Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend, and I know that I did because I still remember it. Well, anyway, I received another design team haul from Eiffel store, and I think probably what has happened with this haul, it should have all come together, but because of the factory closures over the new year, he was kind of like sending them out as they were ready, if you know what I mean. So we've done flowers, we've done gnomes, and now we're back to a few more flowers and also some bugs. Right, so not so much buggish, insectish. We have the outlines for butterflies. Do a close-up there. You can see all the little pieces can fit back in, and you can do them in whatever colours you want, or you can just do the outlines. So I think that's super pretty, and they are large, and actually because they're whole pieces, I'm sitting here dithering around, I can actually measure. So the largest one there from cut line to cut line is 3.5 inches. That's the width on that one. And then there's another set of butterflies, same thing again, going to cut an outline, and I'm going to say this one being the biggest, and I'm going into the cut line, is 3 3/8 on the largest one there. And now we've got a few more flowers, and these are kind of more wildflowerish looking, if you know what I mean. You could basically do whatever you wanted to do with those. I'm trying to think what that one would be. It might be an iris, looking at the shape of it. And that one could be a dandelion, it could be a chrysanthemum, it could be anything you want. I mean, things like this are just great for mixed media and popping on pockets and pages. Next up is a really pretty set. You've got a group there of lovely looking flowers, which could be, I don't know, cosmos or something like that. And then you've got 3 separate little ones that you can dot around. So those are really sweet. I'll measure the length of that group, just under 3 inches. These would be great on a tag, and 3 1/8 high on the cluster. So that's really sweet. And then we have another one. And once again, you know, let your imagination run riot when you've got a blank scene like that. I mean, these could be larkspurs or herbs, lavender, whatever it is that you wanted it to be. I really like these, actually. I'd probably cut those out of newspaper. Yeah, I really like those. And that one's a group, so the height of that one being the biggest is 4 inches. And then we've got more wildflower types, and I'm going to say these are cone flowers. Don't know what those are, because those wouldn't be the leaves, would they? They're almost a daisy type flower, but these look very cone flower in shape, and they'd just be nice watercoloured. So another pretty set, and that one is the largest flower in the set, I think. So 3 inches. So that's for the cone flowers. And then next up, we're getting a bit buggish. So we've got beetles, all different types of scarabs, and I'm not an expert on beetles. I just know that they're beetles. And things like this, if you cut a black outline and you like to do your alcohol inking, and then die cut that and put your alcohol ink panels into there, whether it's, you know, gold or a black outline, can look really, really lovely. So for those of you who like your bugs, there are bugs. And the biggest one, you can actually, I think, use that as a ladybird if you wanted to. I'm going to say, looking at them, I think it's going to be this one. I think this one is the longest. And that is 2.5 inches. And then next up we have more bugs. Of what variety, once again, I do not know. I just know that they look like beetles to me. And this one is the widest, but it's not the longest, but I'll measure it because it's quite large. 2.5 inches. So that is the size of that bug set. And then next up, I have some more butterflies. Just grab them from underneath. And we've got the front and the side facing again. Now, if I go mooching under my pile of the first ones that I put down, I do believe that these are different. Yeah, I was thinking it sent me two of the same. So there we've got side views and front views. So on this one, I'll measure that, and I'll measure the height of the other one as well. So your width on that is almost 3 3/4, and then the height on this one is 3 2/8. So that's a really pretty set of butterflies. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, because of course as a crafter you can be constantly repeating yourself and totally unaware of it. Well, you know, sometimes. But when you cut outlines, if you cut them in good heavy cardstock and you layer them up, they become great shadows, shadow layers on journal pages and on cards. And if you like to watercolour, it just enhances everything and can make it look embossed. I mean, I don't know how well these would do being cut out of Dollar Tree foam board. I mean, they're not fine, but it would be interesting to cut one and have a look. So I might actually do that. And of course, if you like to use vellum and piece your vellum back in, really pretty as well. So that is that set of butterflies. And then next up we have panels, and I've been sent 4 of them. And we've got what looks like, I'm trying to think of the name of that flower, Angelica, I would call that, an Angelica flower. I don't know what kind of flower that is, possibly a daisy, but you've got another one here. But a really sweet panel frame. Now, if you've got a sheet of cardstock and you cut it in, you're going to end up with a rectangle that you can then put your acetate underneath. You can colour this or leave it white and pop it on top. And then you've got yourself a window shaker. So that's really lovely. And I think all of these panels are the same in size. So we are just under 4 3/4 inches, and then the width of that, I am doing the cut lines 2 3/4 inches. So I'm going to measure the next one to make sure that it's the same. But here we've got different leaves, different flowers, and I don't know actually if you can't layer these, layer them up. You probably could. I think you'd probably lose the main feature, which is the big flower. But I think you could probably layer those and get away with it, especially if you had a little bit extra kind of dimension between them. Yeah, I think you probably could. And as you can see, that one is exactly the same size as the last one. Next up, and I've got another one which is giving the edge of a flower, more leaves and branches here, and a smaller flower down below. And as I said, you know, I don't know if these can be layers. I'm going to have to cut them all out and have a look. And it's exactly the same as the other one that I've just done. And then last but not least is another one which looks like it could be a cluster of berries and then a cluster of leaves. So you can actually enhance things like this by dotting pearls there onto a background, and then it would look just like a big cluster of berries. So these look really pretty to me. So I'm going to be cutting these out, and I'm going to be cutting butterflies out, and I'm going to be back with my projects tomorrow. So that is what I've got for you today. So I do hope you have an awesome day, and I thank you so much for watching, and as usual, all links below. Bye.